Play with something safe, man. Don't play with me.
Alright, so we're still chugging along for that push to 5K and on. We're getting very close. I promised y'all that I would drop fire versus battles to help with the push. And here is one of those. We're going to have today Trigon from DC Comics versus Retcon Beyonder from Marvel Comics in a Titanic matchup. Now, before we get started, real quick, check out the description. All the ways you can help on my channel, whether through donating or following me on Twitch and Twitter. That would be awesome, especially Twitter. I don't know, like, I literally talk to fans for free on there, so y'all should definitely be hitting me up on Twitter. But anyways, check all that stuff out. I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. We're making good headway in terms of putting out content and growing as a channel. And anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this battle. I'm going to go ahead and break down their feats and go over who wins. First up, we have Trigon. Now, in the older Swamp Thing runs, I believe it was either written by Alan Moore or Gaiman. Yeah, I think it was Moore, though. We see in the battle, I believe it was with Arcane, that Spectre and Trigon are used as a same threat level and are considered relative in tiering. This threat seemed to be implied to be above even the combined efforts of the Justice League, which is crazy because Superman's omnipotent. Next, Trigon has shown he is capable of utilizing enough power to completely tear through dimensional walls in order to come to the main reality. This is bare minimum infinite dimensional walls he has to tear through, at least in my opinion, considering the bleed and all that stuff. You could probably wank it and say, like, he had to go through the source wall. That's tough, though. I don't know if you could get away with that, but definitely at least a hyperversal feat for him for sure, at worst. Likely actually outerversal, if we're being honest. In the Injustice comics, we see that Trigon is able to go toe-to-toe in raw power with Mixie. This is relevant because since there should only be one Trigon and one Mixie, this battle should be canon. Mixie, for scaling purposes, can casually erase multiverses and should be outerversal without much effort. Fifth dimension is imagination and is not a spatial reference. Death isn't even a concept there. Lobo had to introduce it in death metal, which was savage, by the way. So yeah, he's able to stalemate Mixie in kind of unique conditions, but very impressive given Mixie's power. Members of the JLA and Raven herself, and I believe some of the Titans were there, were essentially helpless when Trigon was able to access their dimension and was plotting on invading. All of them got KO'd by a casual Trigon blast, who was not even there at the time. He was like looking into their dimension, but he was not there. And he boloed all of them with a simple blast. It was ridiculous. Trigon is consistently portrayed as one of the more natural dominating forces in DC Comics. Trigon constantly is stated to casually conquer alternate realities and universes to the main line. Trigon is historically depicted as literally coming out of the womb ready to fight. It was like at age 1, I believe he took over his planet. Or age 1, he caught a body. I don't know. He did some hood rat stuff at 1. I think at 6, he took over the planet maybe. And then by 30, he ruled and had complete domain over his entire dimension. According to the DC website and database itself, Trigon is the literal manifestation and embodiment of evil. The wording and explanation of his existence, in my opinion, makes it seem like Trigon is like a fundamental force. Raven, who was battling to avoid being possessed, states the possession was occurring because Trigon wanted to recover his full power. She states Trigon at full power is infinite compared to before. So the feats before, considering it had outer feats before, we have the infinite beyond that. So GG, that's a huge amp to previous showings in terms of scaling. At one point, we get a chance to see the trophy case and trophy room of Trigon. At this point, in the trophy room, we see that Trigon has the helmet of Naboo. Assuming this came through typical conquest, which includes violence with, when it comes to someone like Trigon, this means most likely Trigon destroyed Naboo amped Dr. Fate pretty easily, as it's just like casually sitting there in the trophy room. Trigon and his dimension Azarath are at one point depicted to be beyond what is between worlds and between dimensions. This should give confidence to those who are not quite sure of his outerversal roots, as he's literally stated to be beyond that stuff. While this feat is wanked, Trigon was not intimidated by Phantom Stranger appearing to him on behalf of the presence. He showed up, I believe it was to deliver Raven on behalf of the presence. And then, Trigon started spouting about, Presence doesn't want beef with me, so he's sending a peace offering. And Phantom was like, literally no one said that. Please don't straw man me. To be fair, the reason it's kind of annoying people hype this up is because everyone trash talks Phantom Stranger. Phantom Stranger's garbage. Of course he's going to talk crazy to Phantom Stranger. Who doesn't? Really, who doesn't? Anyways, moving on, Trigon has shown he can eradicate beings of similar status as him, given that he slaughtered the Divine, who he claimed were like his mothers and fathers. Trigon has before been referred to as a pan-dimensional Helllord, which I find to be a fitting way to wrap up his character summary in this video. Pan-dimensional means across every aspect of reality. This makes sense, as Trigon is supposed to have only one true form, so he's got to be throughout reality. He's got to be pan-dimensional by default. One version of himself is everywhere. He's a problem for everyone. That is the Demon King, Trigon. Next up, we have the section on pre-Retcon Beyonder. Now, just in Raw's existence alone, it is established literally at the beginning of most Beyonder stories and issues in comics that Beyonder himself originated from outside of the myriad of dimensions and outside of creation itself. Myriad, by the way, means countless. Calling Beyonder abstract level is an actual insult to the guy. It was revealed in a conversation with Molecule Man that Beyonder is so insanely beyond everything in creation that even abstract ideas and concepts like love are completely foreign to him. They are irrelevant to his existence and what he does, and so he literally doesn't understand them. That's how far beyond them he is. For fun and to actually show off for a girl that was his date at the time, Beyonder once forced all of the Celestials to jump him at the same time. His threat to get them to do this was that if they refused to jump him, he would end creation instantly. All of the Celestials attacked him at once, and he laughed. For the record, fodder to mid-tier Celestials can absolutely annihilate Odin, even when Odin has an insane amount of prep time. Odin literally got in a backyard brawl with Infinity once, but was useless against Celestials. This just shows how wild the power gap is with Beyonder compared to most characters, as he laughed at the Celestials. Beyonder explains his relation to the abstracts and how they don't scale to him. There really isn't a relationship, and he is far beyond them. In this comparison, he kind of breaks it down by explaining that abstracts are so high up to humans that they don't notice existence a lot of times and ignore it. They actually don't even understand death a lot of times, which humans have to deal with. Beyonder is even beyond those that don't understand human concepts. In a conversation with Doctor Strange, which is always enlightening because Doctor Strange is the GOAT, Doctor Strange explains concepts and how they end up transcendental to existence in the abstract sense. Beyonder says he does not understand this, because such trivial transcendental concepts are garbage to him. Major flex points for the Beyonder. Beyonder did have some points in the comics where he was annoyed and, a flex would occur because of this. Typically, he was portrayed as like a fun-loving guy trying to understand himself, but sometimes he did lose it. This mostly stemmed from him trying to fit in and understand what it was to experience mortality and humanity. One time when he was frustrated, Beyonder accidentally started damaging the multiverse passively. Molecule Man had to get him to calm down before Beyonder accidentally did irreparable damage to the entirety of the Marvel multiverse. For some reason, I have seen a weird meta online that scales the Molecule Man from this story to pre-Retcon Beyonder. That's a dishonest look at the story. At multiple points, Molecule Man admits he can't even fathom Beyonder's true power, and then Beyonder tanks a blast from him that Beyonder says would have easily destroyed billions of dimensions, and Beyonder did not care. Obviously, Molecule Man was not his equal. Beyonder's power is so extreme that the man is literally not even allowed to nap in peace. The reason for this is Captain America explains that even a simple dream from a snoozing and snoring Beyonder has enough juice to level all of existence. It is elaborated on down the line that in the Beyonder run, that Beyonder is much stronger than we even initially credit him for. It is explained that all of existence scales simply to a figment of his imagination. The complex happenings of creation are throwaway thoughts to the Beyonder. Think about that. To cap it off, it was explained in writing that the power of Beyonder is very fundamental when it comes to his reality warping. Passively, whatever Beyonder believes to be true immediately becomes the truth. This makes him dangerous because potentially, as long as he believes it is true, he can beat you. Then he poses a threat to hit you up with truth manip on the spot, and he just changes it right there. So, if these two characters were to clash, these two titans, who do I think would win? I think Beyonder would beat the brakes out of him. Now, I need to get this out of the way because this is obviously going to be the first thing you guys bring up. But villain, Splash, whatever you want to call me. Why is it that you believe Beyonder wins when Beyonder got slumped by a black guy in the hood in Marvel Comics? Well, at that point, and based on my prior Marvel Humans video, which you need to go watch right now, anyone could have got it from that guy. That's not fair to say because Marvel Humans are about it. Trigon gets beat up by teenagers all the time, okay? If Trigon pulled up and was black, honestly, Beyonder might one-shot just because the only L he really took during that run was to a black dude in the hood, because all the other stuff was like completely his fault, but this dude just straight up boloed him because Beyonder was being racist. But Trigon to me is inconsistent. The Mixie scaling, it's weird to like. I've seen people argue like Mixie was amped and then that's what makes it so oppressive. First of all, it's kind of like it becomes an off-panel thing. No one really ended up caring about the battle. It was kind of trash. Meanwhile, Beyonder accidentally erased death once because he thought it'd be cool for everyone. He's so far beyond everything. He's beyond dualities like gender, which is, oh my God, dude, if Marvel wrote that right now, can you imagine the nightmare in 2020? But anyways, Beyonder just does such crazy reality warping and such consistent, insanely high level feats that consistent Trigon just gets destroyed. Like, I just think Beyonder absolutely annihilates him. See, what you'll see from people arguing Trigon's case in this scenario is they'll take like 2 or 3 scans and get weird with the argument and try to be like, oh yeah, he's presence level. Meanwhile, I can send you 30 Beyonder scans because he does this stuff all the time. And this is literally the weakest version of Beyonder that I've talked about. This is the weakest version of him because he weakened himself intentionally to try to understand humanity and dualities and concepts like that. All that good stuff. But anyways, as you can see, Beyonder wins. He's just way stronger than Trigon. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. If you're a Trigon stan, if you're upset, if you think he scales to the presence, if you're truly that lost, go ahead and comment down below. I probably won't read it, but I'm sure someone else will, and y'all can start arguing. All jokes aside, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for helping me grow as a channel. Check out the description and all the ways to help me. I also started a battle royale. We already have like 7 or 8 participants signed up. Basically, you can pay $5 and have any character you want show up in the battle royale. You don't know who they're going against, but you'll see them in the battle royale video. We have 1 week left before I cut off donations and I don't allow anyone else to pay because it'll become too many. But yeah, if you want to get in your character, you got a week to do so. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. It's been your favorite villain, and I will see y'all later. Peace.